Hey Burgers, this is Bruce from the Berg TV, and today we are at Brooklyn South in downtown St. Pete. I got a question for you. What does charcuterie, aged cheese, fine wine, and Navy SEALs have in common? Stay tuned and I'll let you know. Hey everybody, this is Bruce with the Berg TV, and today we are outside of Brooklyn South, located at 1437 Central Avenue in downtown St. Pete. This is an amazing place to come and eat. Come over here. My personal favorite is the turkey tallagio. I have another personal favorite today, and his name is Peter Berardi. Peter, how's that for some schmoozing, man?
I'd say you're right.
Man, that is like right in there. So Peter is a former Navy SEAL commander. And Peter, you're also an adjunct professor at USF.
Correct, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, it's just great.
You don't mind if I sip on my beer during this?
No, not at all.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, and cheers to you.
Thank you for your service.
And thank you for having me here. Here's to you all out there as well.
Oh, cold beer on a hot day, man. Love it.
Well, USF, great organization, and I was fortunate enough to be introduced to the curriculum there by Mr. Ron Fleischer and Dr. Doreen McCauley. Great folks. Excuse me.
It's live.
A little too much froth in there. But anyway, great folks. And I went there to give a discussion on leadership. And Dr. McCauley said, hey, would you like to teach one of my classes? And she introduced me to the program. And since then, I've taken on 3 different classes and have met a wonderful student body. I mean, they're just fantastic students up there. They're all a dynamic group of students. I've never been so impressed with this group of young people and how hard they're working across the board. Without exception,
that's refreshing to hear about
really
young
refreshing.
people.
You know what? And I was so pleasantly surprised because so often you hear things about, oh, this generation today, everyone's got some negative things to say. But I'm just meeting these dynamic young people that are hungry to get out there and make a difference, and they're eager to find ways of doing things better. And what's really great about that is I take a lot of my leadership training, the seminars that I provide, and I implement those into the curriculum.
Right.
So I kind of mix it up. And it really makes a big difference because these kids are so hungry to learn how to do things better, how to engage people at a more professional level, and really how they can make a difference with other people.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice exponential effect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how do they receive you? Hey, there's the pedal pub. We were on that last week. So Peter, how do they receive you as the adjunct professor teaching this leadership program? And I know the reception is great. What influence is the fact that they may know that you're a prior Navy SEAL commander, now you're standing in front of them, and honestly not many people get to stand face to face with a Navy SEAL commander. How do you think that influences the way they're perceiving you?
Well, I think initially they're very interested. They want to know, wow, what's this all about? Because they see movies, they read books, it's in the news. But it's a novelty. And I think, or I believe really, that after a brief period of time, the novelty's gone, and what makes sense to them and what really makes them gravitate towards me is how I relate to the students in a one-to-one level.
Right.
And I don't treat them as anything less than a peer.
Yeah.
So there's no I was that. It's more like, hey, how are we going to work together to make some cool things happen in your life? Because when you step outside the realm of the university, there's a whole world out there you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
And here are the brass tacks. And I think that bringing in the reality that they're going to be dealing with once they get out of school.
Yeah.
And individualizing that, because each one of those students has got a unique name, a unique personality, and unique goals.
Yeah.
And when you bring those together and they realize, hey, you know what, I have value to this professor.
Yeah.
He's really talking to me, and I am, because you're so cool, each one of them.
That's awesome.
And that makes a difference.
Yeah. So I got some bullet points here, okay?
Sure.
Maybe we can go through them.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Translating SEAL team effectiveness and cohesion into other organizations.
Sure.
Okay. I know what that's about, but I want to hear your take on that. I want to hear how you do that.
It's pretty simple. Okay. In the teams we have a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
It's always leaning forward. It's always thinking outside the box. It's how to do things better. It's about the esprit de corps that we have with our teammates, and how we always look out for each other.
Yeah.
And how we share a vision and work together to make that happen. And really what it boils down to is having an alignment of values. We're all in it for the same core reasons. Although we all may be quite different. You've got guys from all parts of the country, from all sorts of different socioeconomic echelons.
Yeah.
But the core values are the same.
Yeah.
And that intersection really creates a high level of trust. And that trust is really conducive to building the cohesion in the organization.
Yeah.
It allows for creativity, innovation. Guys aren't afraid to throw things on the table. And when you have that, you're able to create a very innovative and dynamic environment. Anybody can have that, as long as they have the self-confidence and are able to engage and communicate with other people and allow others to contribute.
Sure.
Once you can do that, people will really start making a difference in their own organizations.
Yeah. This day and age, many corporations, many organizations, all the way boiled down to the basics of even a hair salon or even an apartment building, community living. People almost accept the fact that you're bringing so many people from different walks of life into one unit, one environment, not one goal, but one collective, okay? And they say that really cohesiveness is not important. They say that conflict is more acceptable than cohesiveness, which I disagree with. I understand that you're going to get people from different walks of life, different values, different beliefs, different motives, different approaches and techniques. And I know there may be some clash, but eventually it irons out. Eventually there is the cohesiveness, like on the team, like where I was at,
Yeah. And, as you said, conflict doesn't have to be negative.
No.
Everybody brings something to the table. And you may not agree with it, but it behooves you to listen to it. Because, my dad once told me, hey, Pete, you know a lot. Great. But if someone's talking to you and you already know what they're talking about, don't say, yeah, I know, I got it. Don't do that.
Right.
Just shut up.
Yeah.
All right, listen, because maybe there's one nugget in there.
There's a nugget in there
that you don't know, and you're going to pick that up, and now you're even more well-rounded. And oh, by the way, you can contribute to what they might not know as well. So how cool is that?
Yeah.
So conflict is good. I like conflict because it can be very healthy, as long as people understand that it's not personal.
Yeah.
That's
I love this next one. Commitment versus compliance.
Oh yeah.
I love that because, and Laura, our camera person,
Hi, Laura.
we were talking about this earlier today, about that you volunteer for something, whether it's airborne, SEAL team, community service, you're volunteering, and that's your commitment. And just because you're volunteering, and maybe in some organizations you're not getting compensated for that volunteer work, it doesn't mean you don't bring the level of excellence to
Sure.
that commitment. What I'm getting out of that, commitment versus compliance, is what you want to do versus what you have to do.
Sure. Well, when we have a lot of values in alignment, and you want to be there, and you have a vested interest in it, and you have a love for the organization,
Yeah.
or even a liking for the organization.
Yeah.
You don't do things because you have to. You do things because you want to make it a success.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if you can contribute to that success, even more so, I'm in it. I'm in. Count me as a part of that team. But if you communicate with a person,
Yeah.
tell them why you need to get it done.
Yeah.
Perhaps ask for their input on maybe a better way of doing it, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know? But if you explain to someone, and you don't have to go into the details, and there's sometimes when you don't have that luxury, but if you have an existing level of trust, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't really have to do that.
That's right.
But it's nice to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when people do things out of commitment, the level of product that they will bring to the table is far greater than what they'll do without that. If they're just doing it, they may just go to the level they have to and nothing more.
Yeah.
But if they're doing something because they want to, they're going to go beyond that standard, that level they have to.
And John C. Maxwell talks about the dynamic and the differences between the Western leader and the Eastern leader, and I think that really ties in with commitment versus compliance, where the Western leaders, okay, let's translate this to cattle herding. Okay, you've got the cowboys, they're on their horses, and they're in back of the herd. They're in back of all these hundreds and hundreds and thousands of cows, and they're cracking whips, and they're yelling, and they're whistling, and I mean, you see it in all the movies, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And they are driving.
Yeah.
They are driving the herd, driving the herd. And the herd is in compliance, right? Now, he also talks about the commitment part, and that's the Eastern leaders, the shepherds with the herd of sheep. The difference is the shepherd leading the sheep is walking in front of the sheep. And he's leading the way. Every step he takes, every place he expects the sheep to go, the shepherd takes the first step. Now the sheep grow to respect and love the shepherd and trust him.
Trust is the key element. It's
And
the
they
glue that holds everything
commit.
together.
They commit to his leadership.
Yeah. And what happens when that cattle driver stops cracking the whip? Where do those cows go?
Wherever they want to.
Exactly. They go like this.
They're going east.
Well, whereas the herd that follows the shepherd, you know what? He sits down. They don't scatter.
Nope.
They typically just kind of bed down there and graze in the area and they wait.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the SEAL teams, leadership, Eastern philosophy. Leader takes the first step. The guys trust the leader.
Absolutely.
Commit to the leader.
They do. They do. What's neat about the teams is that the leaders allow other guys to lead.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're the junior guy or the senior guy. Your ideas matter. Everybody contributes to the effort.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you go out on a mission, hey, one guy's in charge, and then there's a chain of command, as you recall.
Yes.
But just because I'm the guy in charge doesn't mean I have all the answers.
Yeah.
And I damn well better listen to the guy who's next to me if he's got something to contribute or say, because he's got a perspective that I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't care how outlandish it might be, I got to take into consideration what he's thinking about, because that could be a whole new window I need to look through. And what's really cool about that is when you do that to a person and you take on board what they say, or even just listen to it and say, hey, I understand where you're coming from, you're giving them value. You're letting them realize what their value is to the organization. Because everybody wants to have value in a relationship, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's with your team, your church, your organization, whatever that might be. You want to have value. You want to be able to contribute.
And and regarding chain of command, regarding leadership, John C. Maxwell said that when you're in a leadership position, as soon as you get into that position, start training your replacement.
Yeah.
Start bringing up your replacement. And it might be a few people, because, SEAL teams, airborne teams, you don't know. Let's be real. You don't know from day to day who's going to be the next leader. And it better be somebody who's been equipped, who's been given the opportunity to lead, so that if they have to step up for whatever reason, then they're already well suited.
Well, it's nice because if you have a a lot of aligned values, you can have a shared vision that enables these other people to step up. If you have to tie your shoelace, they can keep going because they know where you're going. You know, so it's kind of nice. But I thought just went out of my head. It'll come back as we're talking. I'm sure.
So let me. I'll stall while you think about that. Okay. So translating that training your replacement to corporate value.
I got it.
Okay,
because it's going into the corporate. You know what? You said corporate value, and it clicked. What it is it's leadership at the not at the expense of others. But at the benefit of others. So if I'm working with you, you report to me. I should do everything I can to make you as good as you can be and make you shine. And I don't need the limelight. A lot of times you see guys, they want to hold all the cards, they want to be in control. For whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense.
It's all about them.
It's all about them. But if you make other people shine, people will see that person and they'll say, well, that's an exceptional person over there. Who do they work with? They work with Bruce. What's Bruce doing right? Because that's a team I want to be on.
That's right.
I've had skippers in the teams, and I was told on the onset, hey, listen, don't go to the team, go to the skipper. Find the guy who's in charge, see who it is, and determine if that's the kind of guy you want to work for. And the selfless leaders are the ones you want to work for. The guys that are building skill sets. The guys that are getting you into the fight. The guys that are not letting you be used inappropriately. The guys that really are looking out for the team and promoting them. That's the guy you want to work for. Because you'll excel. Not the guy that's looking out for his next job.
That's right.
Not the guy who's out for politics or is just going to do things because it looks good. It's not the guy you want to work for. Right.
You know, in the corporate environment, and I had opportunity to work in the corporate environment, and something that happened to me in direct irony of reading John C. Maxwell's book. I promise you, I'm not promoting John C. Maxwell's book here. We don't have one.
Nice guy.
We don't have one here on the table. You know. But I read his book, and I came to read his book because of a hardship I had in the corporate environment. And one of the things I learned was, you can come across.
All right, guys.
Hey. Thank you.
Whoa.
Cheese.
Thank you, Matt.
Bread.
Woo. What do we have here?
All right, guys. So this is an aged Dutch Gouda. Aged for about 2 years. It's called Old Amsterdam. Super sweet, a lot of butterscotch flavors to it, but it's a great snacking cheese. This is a really nice French brie de Caron. It's very simple, but it's got a really nice musty, mushroomy flavor to it. Little aged Manchego, a year old, one of Spain's most famous sheep's milk cheeses. Sopressata, Copa. These are little pickled tomatoes from Atlanta called Due South.
Due South.
Due South, yeah, D-O-U-X. Due
Nice.
South.
Ah, okay.
And a little fig jam and our house ciabatta. You guys bring out some napkins and some forks, and you guys be ready to go.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
That's great.
So something I learned the hard way was
that is awesome.
I was on the ladder. I was moving up in the corporate area, but I wasn't training my replacement. I got stuck. Because I was doing such a great job at what I was doing. They didn't want to move me. They didn't want to promote me because there was nobody to take my place. So all you guys out there in the corporate world that are watching this, everybody that's podcasting, listening to this, if you are in a leadership position in your business, if you are in a leadership position in your corporation, train your replacement or replacements, because without them, you are not getting the full credit, the full scope of really what you're doing. You know, like Peter said, when you're helping people around you shine, eventually that light is going to be so strong it's going to illuminate you.
Absolutely.
You know,
100%.
And also, for you guys that even if you're self-centered and you want to get promoted, if there's nobody to take your place, you know what? You're stuck. You are so stuck. So listen. Peter, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
We're going to dive into some of this charcuterie and aged cheese, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do an interview with Matt inside. All right, so stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hey everybody, this is Bruce back with the Berg TV, and we are here at Brooklyn South Sandwich Shop and Cheese Shop, and it's you know what? it's a goodies shop because there is nothing inside this building that will not just warm the cockles of your heart and just soothe the lining of your tummy. It is just absolutely amazing, isn't it?
I like that.
So I'm here with the owner, Matt Bonanno. Matt just served us this amazing board, as you saw with the closing, this amazing board of ecstasy. It was, I've never seen food disappear that fast. And I think the majority went in this direction. Matt.
We call it controlled spoilage.
Matt, Brooklyn South. Tell us about it.
Well, it'll be 5 years now. In June,
Wow.
it'll be 5.
Congratulations.
5 years. It's pretty amazing, actually. I can't believe it lasted 5 years. Seems like 5,000, actually, sometimes. We started out with a little cheese shop.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd bring some sandwiches in just to get some people in the door. And all of a sudden, we became a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
And we started getting a lot of traction and
Yeah.
a lot of notoriety. And we got a bunch of great awards and great reviews. And we just kept it going. And we just still kept the cheese idea going. You know, we knew that was still our end, and we made it different. You know, that was our credentials, was the cheese knowledge and the charcuterie knowledge. And I worked for some really great people up in New York and Atlanta and down here in Florida. And it was time for me to open up my own place.
Yeah.
So I got a good friend of mine, and we made some ideas and we put some things together. And now here we are 5 years later. We just were named top 50 restaurants in Tampa Bay.
Awesome.
From Tampa Bay
Congratulations.
Times. Yelp just named us number 9 out of top 50.
Top 50. Now that's pretty amazing considering that there's probably 50 restaurants just on this street.
I could see 50 restaurants just by looking down the road. Yeah,
I
exactly.
can count them going up and down the street. There's 50 right here.
Yeah, it's
so
ridiculous.
top 50 out of Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah, which is probably a 3 or 4 county area.
Yeah.
You know, includes Tampa, Clearwater, St.
Yeah, man.
Petersburg, the beaches.
Yeah.
You know, uptown, downtown. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool feeling. And I mean, we like the people. We like talking to people. We got great customer service. We know what we're talking about. We don't lie or we don't bullshit anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if we don't know the answer, we all have computers in our pockets. You know what I mean? We'll tell you the answer in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of knowledge. We've been, between Charlie and myself, we have about, good 40 years of knowledge.
Wow.
Between cheese and fine foods.
Yeah. And you
I've
can
been a
tell when
chef.
you talk to you guys.
Sure.
You know, if it's like you come in here. I remember the first time I came in here because I have a business up the street, and the first time I came in here and I was asking about it was the turkey telaggio, which is
turkey
just
telaggio,
I am just so stuck on that, and I promise you, Matt, one day I'm going to order something else.
It's okay. Work your way through the menu.
Yeah, but I remember when I ordered that and I was inquiring about the different ingredients. It's like, oh my gosh, I got such an education, on meat and cheese and bread and
For us, that's half the fun. It's half the job. Is explaining it to somebody. You know, and like conveying that knowledge that I learned, and that I read for years and years, and I asked questions, and I worked for some of the best people in the business, and now I'm that fountain of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm part of the American Cheese Society.
Yeah.
I'm a committee member on the Judging and Competition Committee.
Yeah.
So every year we go out to a different city across the country, and we host award ceremonies. We promote and educate on American Dairy Association, small cheesemakers, large cheesemakers, and it's a wonderful thing, and I really, really love being a part of that. It makes me feel like I'm part of something special, because it is something special. And
So, Matt, brag a little bit. You were on Cheap Eats, weren't you?
yes, I am. The whole show, I was. The three of us were all. It's on the cooking channel. It's a great show. Basically, it's a really cool premise. The guy gets $35, and he's got to get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack.
Yeah.
And we were chosen.
All of them for $35?
All within $35.
Wow,
Exactly.
wow.
He's got
Okay.
the whole day to go in one city, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack.
Awesome.
So he did us, and then 3 other places, and we were chosen out of 30 different restaurants for our pork sandwich. So we did the pork.
Yeah.
I had to make the pork 3 times, which is a lot of pork for one sandwich. 30 pounds of pork for one sandwich, but we ate well, and it was a lot of fun. So
Wow.
we had to get on camera, and I showed him how I broke down the pork shoulder and how we braise it and sear
Wow.
it. I make a little slaw that goes with it, a little chili slaw.
Yeah.
And it was really good, and we had a really good time. And the funny thing is, like, me and the host of the show actually have some mutual friends that we didn't know about.
Oh, that's great.
So, which was really funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really cool. We're hanging out with the host
Yeah.
of the TV show, and we had a big viewing party. So we filmed it in January, and then it was aired in August. So we had a long time to go before we actually saw the show.
That's a lot of previewing party.
But we got a lot of people come in and see it. They rerun it a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody came in last week and said they saw it again.
Oh,
which
see
is
that?
great.
You
Yeah.
get a lot of mileage for it.
Yeah, that's like 6 months.
Kind of
7
like
months
this show
now.
will be airing
Thanks, guys.
forever.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Have a good day.
And so it's great to be on TV. It's great to get the name out there. It's a lot of fun to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
You know.
So, what's the future got in store for Brooklyn South?
Jeez, I got a lot of plans. Just waiting for that big bag of money to fall from the sky.
Yeah.
As we all are.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't fall on me.
We're going to be on TV again. We're going to be on a local station here, an NBC station here in Tampa. And I'm looking to do some more cheese and meat for the masses.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in doing my own TV show.
Yeah.
Cooking show.
That's
I've
awesome.
had a cooking show once before in Atlanta, and it was really cool. I got a lot of great response from it. And I practice at home all the time, talking to my dogs, you know, pretending that they're on my audience.
Yeah.
They just sit there waiting. They only, they're only waiting for scraps.
Yeah, they're unconditional lovers as long
Exactly.
as you feed them.
As long as I feed them. Exactly. Little do they know I use them as my backdrop there. But
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm getting some things down, and we're coming up with some new ideas here. And
Nice.
Trying to bring in some more food rather than just sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's a very tiny space, very tiny kitchen, so we have a very small amount of time and space to do things. So
In real estate language, it's quaint.
it's quaint, cute, a cute gem is what I hear all the time. This is a cute gem. I'm like,
You know what? This place, Brooklyn South, 1437 Central Avenue, downtown St. Petersburg, is a cute gem. And if you're not eating here at least once a month, in your routine of traveling around eating, then I'll tell you what, you are missing a lot. You are missing some of the best food in Tampa Bay right here in downtown St. Pete.
We make a lot of stuff from scratch. I've been a chef for 25 years, and then I started selling cheese about 15, 20 years ago.
Awesome.
And I did get to combine both of my skills that I've learned. I've been in this business since I was 15 years old, which is a long time ago. Ronald Reagan was president when I got my first restaurant job.
Wow.
Some people don't even remember who he is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And just trying to get bigger and better every day.
That's great.
And it's
Better
not
your best.
easy, but it's not easy, but we try, and
That's
we're in
great.
it for love because this is all we know. I feel like I'm a third generation chef in my family. My grandfather was the chef of the family,
Wow.
cooked for everybody for years and years, and then my mother, she learned from him. And now it's my turn. So
That's
I cook
great.
for the family, I cook at home, I cook for my friends. We actually do a lot of outdoor events. So if you see us on the outdoors event, Localtopia, any kind of neighborhood watch or any kind of neighborhood food festivals, we'll be there. We set up a tent and we sling pretty cool sandwiches.
Yeah, stop on by and say hello to Matt.
All right, Bruce,
All right.
thank you very much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us here.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being such a gracious host, and thank you so much for feeding us. Because
you got it. You got it. It's what we do.
Between the beer and the meat and cheese, I am so happy right now.
What I used to say is big wines and small foods.
And
They go a long way.
I see Peter slipping into a food coma over there as well.
Good. That's why we do this.
Thanks,
That's why
Matt.
we do this.
Have a good
All right,
day.
Bruce. Thanks again, man.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey Burgers, this is Bruce with the Berg TV, and we are back with Peter Berardi, former Navy SEAL commander, and we're here at Brooklyn South. And as I've been gushing all over Brooklyn South, you guys, you got to get here. Did you like the food, Peter?
He was right on target with this stuff.
Yeah.
His cheeses were just the right flavor. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you can tell by looking at us. We're like between the beer and the food and the cheese, we're just slipping into this coma of ecstasy.
Oh yeah, my beautiful wife Ann and I, we're foodies.
Yeah.
We go all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just when you find a great place, I'll be back here.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be a more than once a month.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a recommendation.
There you go. Yeah.
Spread the word.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's jump back into whatever you want to jump into. Okay, so what would you say? Impart some wisdom, impart some knowledge, impart some universal truth.
Sure, I got that.
To the young people out there, because Peter, I want to tell you, I've had some great experiences with the millennials. I've had some horrible experiences with the millennials. And I'm sure that people that were older than me when I was growing up say, you know what? I had some great experiences with people his age. I had some horrible experiences with his age. But you know, the millennials get such a horrible rap these days, you know? And I hate to see people throwing out the baby with the bathwater, you know? So for the people out there that are the millennials, for the people out there that maybe need a little uplifting and maybe need a little encouragement, maybe need a little boot in the butt,
Sure.
you know? What do you got?
I would say this. One of my mantras growing up,
He's rubbing it, he's washing his hands, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
I never want to look over my shoulder and say, wow, what if I had tried that?
Yeah.
And I'm not,
Wow.
I'm not talking about, you know, bad stuff.
Yeah.
But what if I'd gone for that? What if I had a dream and, you know, it's always something cool, something nice, but I can never do that. I work with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Bill Anton. He's he runs CEO Effectiveness, and the guy is fantastic. And one of the best topics that he and I have ever spoken about was that most of, if not all of, our limitations are self-imposed. And if you just take that step, look at the possibilities, and make the harder choice that, yeah, it might not be easy, but I'm going to go for it and make it happen, you'll find that once you get there, it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
So
Or difficult, as difficult.
Yeah, so self-imposed limitations.
Yeah.
Are they rooted in fear? Are they rooted in self-doubt?
So often they're rooted in the mental models we grow up with.
Yeah.
And, you know, if someone says, hey, you're going to be great at math, you're going to grow up thinking, you know, I'm going to be great at math.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm going to work hard because I'm good at math.
Yeah.
I'll never be a music teacher. I'll never be a violin player.
Because I'm going to be great at math.
No, because someone told me that. You weren't good at music, you're better at math. But you know what? If I want to play the violin, and then maybe I hear some music and I start playing with it, and you know what?
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it. I can do this.
Yeah.
But it's like anything. If you want to do it, you got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
If you don't go for it, if you don't give it a shot, you'll never know. So, like becoming a SEAL. I had a lot of people tell me I could never be a SEAL because my grades weren't good enough. It was too competitive. You know, it wasn't the right time. I was too old because I went through when I was 26.
Yeah.
And if you listen to those naysayers, you're never going to get anywhere. You know, you just got to focus and go for it. I didn't want to be 30 years old, looking over my shoulder and saying, wow, what if I tried to be a Navy SEAL?
Yeah.
If I figured, well, if I go for it and I get it, hey, I'm here. If I go for it and I don't get it, well, hey, no foul, I tried, you know?
Yeah.
But if I hadn't have tried, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah. You know, wow, that is so profound. You know, that people don't take that step. People don't take that first step because either fear, either self-doubt, either way, it's imposed by, like you say, maybe something told them while they were growing up. And the kids today, oh my gosh, there is so much opportunity. They have, between YouTube and the internet and social opportunity, they have such amazing beginnings right in their hands, and maybe sometimes they don't realize it. They don't realize that if they take that first step, it's going to be a springboard step. You know, it's just going to like skyrocket them. You know, but it's that first step, isn't it?
It certainly is. And you know, I've got my amazing kids here as well. And what I tell them is if you excel and you do well and you work hard, you'll be able to have choices.
Yeah.
If you don't work hard, if you don't expand yourself, you're not going to have choices. People are going to tell you what you can do instead of you saying, hey, I want to do. And that's a big difference.
It sure is.
You want to have choices. And if you apply yourself and do the best you can, you'll end up with choices. But if you don't, you'll have no choices.
There's nothing worse than being in a spot in life where you feel like you have no choice.
Oh, it's terrible.
You feel trapped, you feel cornered, you feel desperate, you know? But like you say, if you change that mindset and you change your whole thinking into desire, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. I wanted to start a Facebook TV
And
channel.
it goes back to what we talked about earlier, commitment versus compliance. You're
Yes.
committed to this because you love it. It's a passion.
Yes.
It's where your values are.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
doing it because someone told you to do it.
Right. I wouldn't do this because somebody told me. It's too hot out here.
Yeah.
It's like I love talking to people. I love helping peel the layers off, you know,
Yeah.
and discovering what they're all about. And I love promoting people, you know. I mean, so it just seems like it was a natural progression to do it, and to do it in front of a broad audience. So, you know, the world today has just blossomed and exploded with just opportunity, you know. And I encourage everybody, like Peter says, take that step. If somebody has put negativity on you, get rid of it. Shake it off and believe in yourself and follow your footsteps to a world that you desire to be in.
Absolutely. Nobody knows you like you know you. That's for sure. You know what's in your core.
Yeah. Despite what everybody tells you, you know what you can do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Peter, thank you so much.
Bruce, I really appreciate the opportunity to come here. Thank you so much on this great day.
You
God
are
bless us. This is
amazing.
wonderful.
You are amazing. Pete, you have a book, don't you?
I
You have a book?
I do. It's called The Path. It's a workbook to follow on to Bill Anton's Ascend,
Uh-huh.
and it's about reaching higher levels of achievement through self-knowledge.
Where can people get this book?
Amazon.
Amazon. And it's called
Mine is called The Path.
The Path.
Achieving full achievement. No, excuse me. The Path. Self-achievement through self-knowledge. Yeah.
Do it again.
I wrote the book.
You have a book, don't you?
I do. It's called The Path.
Okay. And where can they get the book?
I would go directly to Amazon.com.
Awesome. So look, you guys out there, you want to learn something about yourselves, you want to learn something about opportunity in the world, Peter Berardi, The Path on Amazon. Mention me, you'll get a discount on it.
Sure, why not?
Peter, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Bruce.
This
I really
has been
appreciate it.
An
Thank you.
amazing time, and thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you. God bless you, brother. I
Awesome.
appreciate it. Yeah.
You guys,
Thank you, Laura.
Peter Berardi, Brooklyn South. This is Bruce for the Berg TV. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.